Welcome to Thrive Apprentice. I'm Christine, and in this video, we'll do a quick walkthrough of the plugin so you can see just how easy it is to create an online course or even your own online course business. So before we dive in, let's take a quick look at a basic example of what you can build. We've got a page here with all of the available courses, and this is the default school homepage. Clicking on a course will bring your customers to the course overview page, where there's some info about the course, a brief description, a list of lessons, and there's also a bit about the instructor. And there's different lesson types that you can create in Thrive Apprentice. For example, lesson 1 is a video lesson. So the video is the focus of the page, but you can also add text, audio, and other kinds of elements to help your students learn. Lesson 2 is a text lesson. So this lesson is written, but of course you can add various elements to help organize the information and illustrate your point. Lesson 3 is an audio lesson. So there's an audio file at the top of the page, but as you can see, you can also add text and video to the lesson lower down on the page. With all of these lesson types, you can add downloadable resources for things like PDFs. Now, what's really nice about Thrive Apprentice is that all of this is completely customizable. You can add your own styling to the lesson pages, the module pages, the course overview page, and the school homepage. You can change colors, fonts, spacing, and so much more. And you can really build an online school that matches your brand to a T. Now, as far as restricting access to your course so that only paying students can view the course material, you can absolutely do that. And you can also do things like have your first lesson of the course be free, so people need to pay to access the rest. You can also set your lessons to publish on specific dates and drip your content out. And you can create multiple courses, each with different access restrictions. So some of your courses can be lead magnets while others are premium paid courses. If you integrate with WooCommerce, you can even sell courses alongside physical products, and you can sell course bundles. And you can do all of that without a membership plugin. So we're not going to do all of that in this walkthrough, but I'll point out where things are located so you can get the lay of the land, feel comfortable exploring on your own, and start building your own online course. Let's get started. The first time you open Thrive Apprentice, you'll be greeted with a welcome message and you'll be prompted to choose a main course page. This is where your audience can view listings of all the courses you offer. If you've already created a page for this purpose in WordPress, then you can specify it here. Now, since I don't have one yet, I'll click Create New Page, and then I'll assign a title. So I'll use Courses, but you can use something like Members or School. And now I'll click Continue. Next, you'll need to choose a design for your school. This is essentially a skin. We only have one option at the moment, so that kind of makes the decision easy. So let's hover over this and then click Download. And now we are brought to the school wizard. With this wizard, you'll be able to customize all of the pages related to your online courses so that they look just as you want them to. And don't worry if you're not a designer, because we have done all of the heavy lifting for you. So let's get started. First, you'll need to specify a logo for your school. So I'll just click on this and you can upload files. Now I already have one ready, so I'll go into my media library and then I'll select the logo and then I'll click Use this image. And then I'll click Choose and Continue. Next, you'll need to select the main brand color for your school. To edit the color, simply click on the swatch and then use the color picker, and then you can choose a new color. You can also enter in a new color with a hex code. Now, if you would like to share the main brand color with Thrive Theme Builder, you can turn that on, but when you turn on this toggle, it will actually pull in the color that you specified in Thrive Theme Builder. After this toggle is turned on, any changes you make to this swatch will affect both Thrive Theme Builder and Thrive Apprentice, so you'll be changing the main color for your website and your online school. Now, while we're on the subject, you don't have to use Thrive Theme Builder in order to use Thrive Apprentice, but of course, I encourage you to give it a try. So this setting is fine for me since it's just a demo, and I'll go ahead and click Choose and Continue. Now let's take a look at our header options. You can use the arrow keys to view the different headers, or you can use the drop down at the top of the page to view all of your options. Now, if you're using Thrive Theme Builder, then you will see extra header options down below. and you can choose a header that will match the rest of your website. If you aren't using Thrive Theme Builder, then you will only have these two options at the top. I'll choose something simple, so I'll go with this one, and then I'll click Choose and Continue. You'll also need a footer, so let's click the drop down and view the choices. I'll go for something simple, and now let's click Choose and Continue. And then you'll need to choose a layout for your school home page. If you recall, when we first opened Thrive Apprentice, we had to specify a course page. So now we're going to be choosing the layout for that page. So let's look at the options here. I'll choose this one, and then I'll click Choose and Continue. Next, the course overview page. So this is what people will see when they click on a course from the courses page. The course overview page provides a snapshot of information so that your audience knows what to expect from the course. So let's look at the options. This one looks pretty good. And then I'll click Choose and Continue. And now the menu. You can create menus just for your Thrive Apprentice school that are different from the menus that you use on your main website. I've already created a menu in WordPress just for my online school, so I'll go ahead and I'll select that now. And then I'll click Use Selected Menus. And now we'll need to choose what the module overview page will look like. So in Thrive Apprentice, you can divide your course into modules, chapters, and lessons. This makes it a little easier for people to navigate your course, particularly if it's very long. So let's take a look at the available layouts. This one looks pretty good, so I'll select that one, and then I'll click Choose and Continue. Next, let's choose the lesson template. Now, in Thrive Apprentice, you can have text lessons, video lessons, and audio lessons. This template that we're working on right now is for individual text lessons, and I'll show you where you can edit your video and audio lesson templates in just a moment. So we've got a few choices here. I'll just click this one, and then I'll click Choose and Continue. And now we'll need to choose the look of the navigation sidebar. I like the look of this one, and then I'll click Choose and Continue. And we are done. It is just that easy. Now, of course, we haven't made any fine-tuning customizations yet, but that is coming up later on in this video. So now we have a couple of choices. We can either go back to the Skin dashboard, or we can go to My Courses. The next natural step, or actually maybe the more exciting step, might be to create a course. But in order to show you where everything is located, I'd like to first show you the Skin dashboard, so let's click on that. Now, if you aren't coming from the school wizard, you can also access this page by going to the Design tab, and here you'll see you have a section for an active design and unpublished designs. You can add as many designs as you want, and you can easily switch between them if needed. Now note that you can only have one active design at a time, and it covers all of the courses on your site. So why is this useful? Let's say you've created an entire online school, but a couple of years down the line, you're itching to rebrand your site with different colors and fonts, etc. You can simply create a new design and then go through the wizard to set everything up, and then you can take your time customizing templates. And when you're ready to switch over from one design to another, all it takes is one button click, and you can change the look of your entire online school. So let's continue exploring, and let's go ahead and edit our active design. So here is the name of the design. You can rename it if needed. You can also revisit the school wizard if necessary. We're going to explore the template editor in just a moment, and we'll come back to that. Under typography, you can easily tell Thrive Apprentice to use your theme's fonts, or you can edit the typography specifically for your online school. So we've made it super easy for you to customize fonts by providing you with ways to customize groups of elements. If you click on the outermost green line, that will select all of the elements except for the pre-formatted text, and then you can choose a new font, new color, etc. You can also select all of the headings by clicking the middle green line, and then you can edit all of those at once. You can also select all of the paragraph text and edit those at the same time. And of course, you can select individual elements and you can edit those individually. You can also use the breadcrumbs to make your selections. When you're finished making your edits, be sure to save your work, and then let's head back to the Design tab. So in the School Wizard, you made your selections for the basic designs for your school pages. When you're ready to edit and manage those designs, the template editor is where you'll do that. So we've got a default school homepage. We've got a default course overview. This is the page that provides a snapshot of info about a particular course. You have your default module template, and you've got 3 different lesson templates for standard lessons, video lessons, and audio lessons. Really quickly, I'd like to go over the difference between templates and content. So if we look at a typical lesson page, it's comprised of several sections. There's a header, a top section, a content section. So this would be your actual lesson content. And then you also have a bottom section, a footer, and a sidebar. So when you view a lesson page in your finished course, what's on this page actually comes from 2 sources. So the header, the top section, the bottom section, the footer, and the sidebar come from a template. Templates are accessible from the Design tab. The content comes from your course lesson. Content is accessible from the Courses tab. So I know this might seem a little intimidating or maybe confusing at first, but after you create your first course, I think you'll see that this allows you to have complete control over the styling of your courses while also allowing you to make changes quickly. For example, let's say you want to change the text color in the header for all of your text lessons. You can change that once in your text lesson template, and it will automatically apply to all of the lessons that use that template. So now you've got templates and you have content. And as a next step, you can choose to either edit your templates or create your course content. For today, we're going to go ahead and create the course content, and we'll come back to customizing the templates, because that way, when it's time to customize the templates, we'll be able to see how they look with our own course content. So now we are in the Courses tab. Let's go ahead and go to Course Topics. So you can label each of your courses with a topic, and this makes it easier for people to search if you offer several courses. So you can choose a topic name, a topic color. You can assign a specific icon to a topic, or you can choose an image. And if you need to change the color of the symbols, you can do so here. Next, I'd like to show you just how easy it is to build a course. So let's go to All Courses, and then let's click the Add Course button. Let's start with the course name, and then you can choose a course topic. You can select the author, and you can select a level of difficulty. Let's move down to the Course Details tab. The URL will populate automatically, but if you want to change it, you can do so after you save this page. Under the Course Summary, this is just 1 or 2 sentences describing your course, and this will be shown on the Course Overview page. Now, the Course Overview, this is the page that people will see when they take your course. You'll need to save this page before you could access the Course Overview, so let's go ahead and do that. And let's head back to the Course Details, and now we can click Edit with Thrive Architect. If you'll recall, we went over the difference between templates and content. So when you open up this page, the content area is actually quite small. It is right here underneath the summary that we just added. Everything else above it and below it is actually part of the template. So in this little area, you can actually do as much or as little as you want. You can simply type in a few sentences here to let your audience know what the course is about, or if you want, you can do something like add in an introductory video. To do that, go to the Add Element button, look for the video element, and simply drag it where you want to place it. And then you can select a video source and your video URL. Now, the lower part of this page will eventually show an outline of your course once you're finished creating your course content. But again, this is part of the template. If you would like to switch to editing the template, simply go to the right sidebar and click the button to edit the template. For right now, I'll go ahead and save my work, and then I'll head back to the Courses tab. Now, if you really want to use all of the bells and whistles in Thrive Apprentice and give your course a professional touch, then one thing you can do is upload cover images for your course, modules, and lessons. These images will be shown on the appropriate pages throughout your course. Your module cover image on the module page, the lesson cover image on the lesson page, etc. So here is where you can upload a cover image. Now you'll see that there are some recommended dimensions here. These dimensions are actually for the legacy template of the old version of Thrive Apprentice. Since you'll be using visual editing and you'll be choosing the size of the image, you can ignore these suggested dimensions and input any size image you want. Moving down the page under Author Settings, you can use your WordPress user bio as your teacher biography, or you can specify a custom bio. You can allow comments for the course if you like. Now, under Video Description, this is actually for the legacy template, the old version of Thrive Apprentice. If you would like to add a video description to your course overview page, the best way to do that would be by editing the course overview page and dragging and dropping it into place. So let's go ahead and save this page. Next, let's add course content. So you have lessons, chapters, and modules. In terms of your course content, you don't have to use chapters or modules, but you must use lessons because your actual teaching content is going to be contained in lessons. Chapters and modules are just there to help you organize your lessons. Modules do have their own page, whereas chapters do not. They're really just there to help you organize the lessons within a module. So let's go ahead and create a module. I'll give the module a name. The URL will automatically populate, but you can edit it if you like. You can input a module summary, which will be shown on the course overview page. You can allow users to comment on this module. And you can upload a cover image for the module. Again, the suggested dimensions are for the legacy template, so feel free to upload an image of any size you want. Now, if you don't upload a cover image, then Thrive Apprentice will use the main cover image for the course. Next, you can add a chapter if you like. Now, my course isn't going to have that many lessons, so I don't think it's going to be necessary to organize them into chapters, so I'll just go straight to adding a lesson. Now let's give this lesson a title. You can choose between a text lesson, audio lesson, or a video lesson. I'll choose text lesson. The URL for this lesson will automatically populate, but you can go ahead and change it later if necessary. You can input a lesson summary, and this will be shown on the course overview page. You can allow users to comment on this lesson, and you can add a cover image. When you're finished with this page, click Save. And then you can add your lesson content. So let's go to Edit and then go to Add Content. So the content area of this page appears pretty small, but you can add as much or as little content as you need. So let's go to Add Element and let's add some text. You can also add in video. After you've inserted the video element, you can select your source and a URL for that source. And you have a myriad of other elements that you can add. For example, you can add images, buttons, background sections, and much more. Now, one thing I'd really like to show you are the blocks. So let's go ahead and click and drag a block into place. And blocks are pre-designed sections that can save you tons of time. So you can simply search for a block that you're interested in. Something like a pros and cons list might work nicely. Then you can choose a block, and you can replace the template content with your own. So you can substitute in your own text, your own icons, and you can do things like change colors and backgrounds, etc. When you're finished editing your lesson, go ahead and save your work. When you're finished adding a lesson, you can go ahead and publish it, or you can schedule it to be published at a later date. So this is how you will drip out your content. Now, this is different from publishing your course. When you're finished with absolutely everything, you'll publish your course using the button in the upper right-hand corner, and only lessons that have been published will go live. So if you'd like to work on some lessons but keep them in draft form while other lessons are live, you can absolutely do that. Next, let's take a look at the Access Restrictions tab. So if you want to offer courses for free on your website for anyone to take, you can absolutely do that. Simply leave restricting access off. But if you want to offer free courses to grow your email list, or if you want to sell paid courses, then you'll need to turn on access restriction. One thing a lot of marketers like to do is offer the first few lessons for free, but then in order to access the rest of the course, people will have to either sign up or make a purchase, whatever you have set up. So to accomplish this, you can exclude lessons from the protection rules. Now, here is where you can set what happens when someone tries to access a course without being logged in, and what happens when someone tries to access a course, but they don't actually have access. Now, there's two levels here for these two settings. So there's a school level and there's a course level. We haven't quite gotten there yet, but under Thrive Apprentice settings, you can set global settings for all of your courses in your school. But you can also make different specifications for individual courses. So that's where we are at right now. What you set for an individual course will supersede the global settings. The default site behavior will follow whatever was set in your main Thrive Apprentice settings. You can also display custom content, which is completely editable. You can redirect to your login and registration page, or you can redirect to a custom page. If you start typing the name of the page, it will pop right up, or you can create a new page. Under Restriction Label, you can choose a label to assign to your course. This is so that people will see on your main courses page which courses are free, which ones are paid, etc. Next, under Products, here is where you can specify access. So if you would like people to sign up for your email list to get access to a course, one way to do that is to set up access as a WordPress subscriber. Thrive Apprentice also integrates with services such as ThriveCart and WooCommerce. Now, we've made integration really easy for you. For example, with WooCommerce, after just installing WooCommerce on your site, you'll need to set up a WooCommerce product. But beyond that, there isn't really anything else to set up in Thrive Apprentice. So after you go through the Course Details tab, the Content tab, and the Access Restrictions tab, the last thing you'll need to do is publish your course. Now, I should mention that you need to have at least one lesson published in your Content tab in order to publish your course. So I'll go ahead and click the Publish button. You'll see that this lesson has turned green, and now I can publish the course. Now there's one last thing I'd like to show you in the Courses tab, and that is course bundles. So I've gone ahead and I've added some other courses in here to demonstrate. So if you would like to sell course bundles, then you can absolutely do that with Thrive Apprentice. For example, you might offer courses A, B, and C individually, but you might also want to offer a bundle that includes all 3 courses for a discount. So you can set that up by going to Courses and then Course Bundles. And then you can go to Add New Bundle. You can give your bundle a name, and then you can choose all of the courses you want to add to the bundle, and then click Save. So you can see just how easy that was. Now, in order to actually sell these courses and bundles, you will have to integrate with something like WooCommerce, ThriveCart, or SendOwl. Next, let's quickly take a look at the Settings tab. So here is the courses page that we specified earlier. If you need to change this, you can do so from here. If you have tens or hundreds of courses that you offer, you can specify how many courses are shown on your courses page. You can automatically log your users in when they create an account, and then that way they won't have to hassle with logging in manually. You can choose to display Powered by Apprentice or not, and you can choose to enable comments for courses or not. Next, email templates. So at the moment, we only have one email template to look at and customize, and this is the email that gets sent out when someone signs up for a course and creates a new account. So you can customize that email here. Next, labels and translations. So here is where you can customize labels and buttons. So if you'll be teaching your courses in a language other than English, then here is where you can specify the exact translations that you want. Next, login and access restriction. So here is where you can set your global login and registration page, and you can also set what happens if a guest tries to access a course that is only available for logged in users, and what happens if someone tries to access a course that they don't have access to. Now, when you specify these two settings in the Thrive Apprentice Settings tab, these are going to be global, so they will apply to all of your courses unless you've specified something different for a particular course. Now let's go to the login and registration page. We don't currently have one, so let's go ahead and let's create a new page. Let's go ahead and give this page a title. And now let's edit it with Thrive Architect. Now, if you don't have Thrive Architect installed, then you will have access to Thrive Architect Lite, and you can use that to edit the content section of this page. Now, the main feature of this page is the login form. If you would like to choose a different style of form, simply click on the form. Make sure that login and registration form is highlighted in the breadcrumbs, and then click on the title, which is next to the paint palette icon. And then you can choose a different login form design. I'll go ahead and choose this one. Now, everything inside of the content section of this page is editable with Thrive Architect or Thrive Architect Lite. So we've just replaced the login form, but if you would like to do things like change the color for the text or change the button color, you can simply click on the login and registration form to make sure that it is highlighted in the breadcrumbs, then go to Edit Form Elements, and that will bring you to a submenu of sorts where you have all kinds of options to edit the elements within this form. When you're finished making your edits, go ahead and click Done to click out of the login and registration form, and then you can make other edits to the content section of this page using the available elements and blocks. Now, about the overall design for this page, your login and registration page is more or less just like any other page on your site, except that it has a login form in the content section. In fact, in WordPress, if you go to Pages, you'll see your login page listed alongside your other pages. So what this means is that by default, whatever header, footer, sidebar, top section, and bottom section you have set for just regular WordPress pages will be used on this page as well. Now, if you have Thrive Theme Builder installed, then you can go to your page settings, and under visibility settings, you can choose whether or not to show or hide various sections. So, for example, you can go ahead and hide the header, and that will no longer show on this page. Now, if you are not using Thrive Theme Builder, but you still want a page design that's different from your website theme or perhaps more professionally designed, then we do have a solution for you. And you can even use this solution if you are using Thrive Theme Builder. So you can go to your Change Template button, and you can choose a pre-built landing page. And here you have a variety of pre-built landing page designs. So you can just go ahead and choose one that you like. And then you can edit the text, the colors, and swap out icons and images to match your brand. Next, let's take a look at the Logs tab within the Thrive Apprentice settings. So since we haven't started selling any courses yet, we don't have any data to look at. But here is where you will find the technical details about transactions in Thrive Apprentice. So let's say someone tries to buy one of your courses, but the transaction fails. Here is where you will find more information about why that happened. So if things aren't working right, you can come here to start figuring out why. And the last item in the Settings tab, API keys. So if you'll be using other software in conjunction with Thrive Apprentice, such as Thrive Cart, which by the way is not a Thrive Themes product, they just happen to have a similar name, then you may need to input an API key in order to integrate with that software. So simply click Add API, give your new key a name, and then click Save. Next, let's edit the templates for our school. So we'll go to the Design tab, and then under the Active Design, I'll click Edit Design, and then we're going to go to the Template Editor and click Manage Templates. All right, so here you can see that we have 3 lesson templates for the default text lesson, the default video lesson, and default audio lessons. We also have the default module template, the default course overview template, and the default school home page template. So this is where you will be making the fine-tuning adjustments for the templates that we picked in the School Wizard. Let's take a quick look at the default school home page. Now, the first thing I would like to show you on this page is under the main options. So you'll see that you have a little diagram here of the sections of this page. So here you can use the little eye icon to turn certain sections off or on. Now, the main focus of this page is the course list. So I'll go ahead and click on that, and let's make sure that it is highlighted in the breadcrumbs. And then if you click on Filter Courses, you'll see that you can filter the courses on the list in a few different ways. So you can choose individual courses. You can also filter by author. You can choose to filter by topic. You can also filter by restricted content levels, difficulty levels, and finally you can filter by course access and progress. And what about editing the design for this course list? So you have options for the overall layout type. So you can choose a list, grid, or masonry. You can choose to display the topic filter or not. You can choose to display the search field or not. And you have several spacing and pagination options. To edit the details of the course list, click the Edit Design button, and that will bring you into an editing submenu just for the elements within the course list element. And you'll know that you're in this little submenu by the orange outline around the page. What's convenient about this element is that everything is linked as you would expect. So if you want to edit, say, the color of the course title, you can simply edit one and the others will update automatically. Now this course list is dynamic, so when you are in this little submenu, remember to focus on editing the styling and not the content. Dynamic elements such as this text element here are indicated with the dotted line beneath it. When you're finished editing the course list, click the Done button to click out of the course list element. The last thing I'd like to mention for this page is that you can add a variety of elements if you want to. So simply go to the Add Element button and you have a variety of elements, and don't forget that you can also use blocks, which are pre-designed sections. Next, let's take a quick look at one of the lesson templates. Let's take a look at the video lesson template. So this template will be shown with the content from one of your lessons. You can change that lesson by going to the upper right-hand corner and choosing a different lesson, or you can choose to view this template with demo content. I've got a lesson in mind, so I'll go ahead and select that one. Next, let's go to the template settings, and then under the main options tab, you'll see that there is a diagram of the page. So this template covers the header, the top section, the bottom section, and the footer, and it also covers the sidebar. So this is an off-screen sidebar. People can choose to show or hide it as they please. Now, some of the sections of this page, such as the sidebar, so I'll go ahead and click into this sidebar so you can see, this is a linked section. This means that other templates use this sidebar design. So if you edit this design, any changes will reflect on the other templates that also use this sidebar. If you unlink this sidebar, then you can proceed with making changes, and then those changes will only affect this template. Now, if you want to choose a completely different sidebar and have it apply to all of your templates, then you can go back to the School Wizard and choose a new sidebar. And you can do this for headers and footers as well. Now, as you edit your template, remember that a lot of the elements on this page are dynamic. So for example, I'll click on this text element here. You can check to see if it's dynamic by looking at the text element floating bar here, and then go to the stack of coins icon. And if it's blue, then this element is dynamic. Now, you can also use this icon to make an element dynamic. So for example, I'll remove this, and now we've just got some placeholder text. I'll highlight it, then I'll go to the stack of coins, then I'll select dynamic text and I'll select a source. I'll click Thrive Apprentice, and then I'll select the title of the lesson. There we go, and now this element is dynamic. Next, let's scroll down to the lesson resources section. So you can change the design of the lesson resources. Simply click into the element, make sure that lesson resources is highlighted in the breadcrumbs, and let's go to the palette icon in the upper left-hand corner. And now you can choose a different lesson resources template. This one looks pretty good, so I'll select this one. When you're finished editing your template, click Save Your Work, and then head back to the template editor. The last thing I'd like to point out in the template editor is that you can create your own template if needed. So simply go to the upper right-hand corner, click the Add New button, and then follow the prompts. Next, the Customers tab. So here is where you will find a list of all of your customers. You can import customers manually. You can also import customers using a CSV file, or you can bulk add customers. And the third way of getting customers into this Customers tab is by selling courses. So when you integrate with WooCommerce, ThriveCart, or SendOwl, when someone buys a course, their name will show up here as soon as they have made a purchase. And then if you need to, you can go ahead and edit the access rights for any of your customers. So I think we've covered it all. I hope that this walkthrough was helpful, and I hope that it has inspired you to start thinking about how you can create your own online courses and maybe even your own online course business. Thrive Apprentice is a part of Thrive Suite, so go ahead and visit thrivethemes.com/suite to buy your copy today.